Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
Yeah, don't forget Swiftwater Rob and Jaron as well. No,
yeah, you still ain't got my name on there.
Huh?
You still ain't got my name on there.
I know. Bad. What's going on, man?
We're here.
We're here. You guys ready for our guest tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Everybody ready for Justin Peterson from Whitewater. Right?
Right here, and we will be.
Gonna be fun. Get your gold prices already.
That's already. You're sounding low for some reason. Wait a minute.
No, I'm good.
Maybe it was never mind. My volume is down.
Okay.
Now your screen looks like it froze.
Nope, he didn't adjust. He clicked adjust something and it freezes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now I see you moving around.
Yep. Now he's a moving.
Woo!
That's you.
Bless you.
Blew my rug off there.
Yeah, Scott's happy because Larson won today. So
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yay.
Man, he was up front and had a 4-second lead, and then went in the pits and got a little damage from another guy coming in as he was coming out. And then he went back to what, 9th, 8th? Yeah, 8th. And I thought, well, the day's over now. But no, for
then we're
good enough,
back up to 5th and 4th.
well, they got him in the pits and they fixed whatever the problem was. So then he went, like I said, he worked his butt off to get back up there, and he got it. So
Nice. That's good. So that made your day, right?
yeah, all right. That's right, because heck, he's been in contention to win, and then he gets wrecked out on some stupid technicality crap, and then I'm glad they won today. That's for sure. I am
That's
glad.
the way it goes. Yeah. Yep. They get on some technicality. So Rob, you haven't been able to get back in the water still yet, right?
No, but I can cross it now.
Yeah.
Cross
It's still murky. It's almost clear.
couple
Just wait a
days,
little bit. I'm thinking by Tuesday.
like Tuesday. Okay, couple days.
Yeah, I got to weed eat the yard, and then we got to cut that trailer still the rest of the way down, and that we should probably be done with it by tomorrow.
And then I have a project Wednesday with the locals that I'm helping out. So,
Right?
and then, Thursday
Get
again.
back to dig in. Right?
And who knows? The material might be dry enough to do some dry washing.
Oh,
I'm
maybe.
doubting that, but okay.
Yeah, like I said, who knows? I mean, we haven't had any 80-degree weather yet for a while.
Right?
It's been getting in the lower 70s.
The other day, I think we were in the 70s, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, I still got a sweatshirt on, but hey, I don't have to wear my sock hat.
Yeah, same here. Long sleeve. It was nice.
It looked like you guys were at a barbecue the other day or something, Scott.
Oh, at Saturday?
Yeah, it was some kind of beans and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we had a chili cook-off. We went to at Shillings on 17,
Uh-huh.
and Lisa and Holly, they actually, what was it? They won 2 out of the 4. What do they call that? Oh shit!
Stages.
Well, not stages, but the
Yeah, I mean, they got the
best decorating and
yeah.
all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was for a good cause. One of the locals had gone through some cancer and helped pay for her medical bills.
And she was even there. Yes.
Yeah, she was there yesterday.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was. I think there was like 22, 23 entries.
Oh,
There was a lot.
it's a lot of chili eating. Did you eat all 23?
No.
Sample them all.
No.
That's a lot of chili.
Leftovers, so I didn't bother.
I think Lisa was in pretty close competition with the other 2, and I think that gave her a honorable, like an honorable mention on her chili. But there's one guy that actually had that won it, and that was David, or not David, but he had buffalo meat and some other stuff in his chili, so I was liking it better.
And it tasted really sweet.
Yeah, it tasted good.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't need all that fancy
Now
stuff.
they have to make it there, right?
No, we made it at home.
Oh, okay. You can make it at home and bring it.
That's
Okay.
not fair.
Okay. All right.
What do you mean that's not fair?
Well,
You can make it there.
yeah, a lot of them
Well,
you make it there.
You
I don't
can't
want
bring it
somebody-
there. You got to make it there.
Make it.
I don't want somebody to see what's in our chili.
You don't want what?
I don't want them to see what's in our chili.
But evidently, it wasn't good enough to win. So what's the
Well, that
matter?
was Lisa's risk, not mine.
No, you should make it there.
His recipe deals with Sweeney Todd.
Right.
I don't think
No,
I
I
did.
know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But it was a good day.
That's
A lot of people showed up. It was, yeah.
Plus, they had music on the patio.
And how much did they raise today? Did they have $5,000?
Over $3,000.
Over $3,000 was raised, yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
So yeah, it worked out pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good time.
Weather cooperated.
Don't remember much of last night, but I know we were having fun.
Yeah, looks like you guys had a good time by the pictures.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. But you know what else is a good time? Them gold prices.
You think?
What's it?
Well, I'm just happy where it's at.
Yeah. No
Is it
doubt.
over 2,000?
No, we
Yeah.
actually took a $10 dive on gold, and it actually went down to 1970, which is still, like I said, it's over 19. It's good.
Yeah.
Silver actually took a 0.717 boost, and it's back up to 24.18. Tim, that's pretty good, darn good.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
24.18. That's why I said that's where you kind of wanted to keep it at, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what it dropped down to 19 or something? Went all the way down there.
It's down there.
Yeah. Platinum that actually took a $3 jump, went to 1,000. So platinum's 1,000 across the board. We got palladium coming in at $1 low. That's going to be at 15.51, and rhodium actually took a big hit at 650 in the red, and that took that down to $8,000.
That's correct.
Wow. Man,
Holy cow.
that's usually in double digits, but it's not now. It's rhodium's at $8,000.
Wow.
So yeah, $650 hit just annihilated it.
Wow. Wow.
But all that NASDAQ, the S&Ps, everything was in the green. But yeah, not so good for rhodium and gold. And
Well,
Wow.
gold's been kind of doing a roller coaster thing
yeah,
here
it's up and down.
for the past, 6 weeks, and it's been keeping above 19.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we'll let Jaron tell us about the Bitcoin.
But who?
Bitcoin.
Currently at $28,168.
It's holding about the same.
Holding about the same since last week. Okay.
Yeah, it was 28 last week.
That's all
It's
right.
getting weak. It's getting
Now it's
weak.
getting ready to make its move.
Yeah, it's hitting that resistance multiple times, but it keeps making higher lows each time. So this one could be the one.
I think it'll go to 30.
Rocket.
I think you're crazy.
I think it'll go to
I think
30.
you sound like somebody owns Bitcoin.
it might drop a few thousand.
It's gone.
Like I said, as soon as the government starts sticking their fingers in it, it's going to drop. People's going to say, nope, we wanted it because the government couldn't have their fingers in it. Now they're going to start doing it. They're going to say, nope, now we just don't want it.
We shall see.
The only thing the government's trying to do with it is trying to make that one world bank crap. And we don't want it because I don't want my money involved with any other country's money.
No, not with other countries. No.
No, I don't need it.
Nope.
I don't want it, don't need it, and don't care for it.
Ooh, no. Can't take care of our own banks. We shouldn't be working with other country banks. So
No.
that's just my opinion. Anyhow, Jared, you gonna get our guest on here?
Yeah, I just send him an email. He's not able to get on his Facebook on his computer for whatever reason, so
Okay.
I had to send him an email.
Okay.
But I talked to him just prior to the show, so he should be on
Kind of
standby.
watching his email, ready to pop in, hang out with us for a little bit, discuss whitewater. Whitewater.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, Whitewater is returning on the 14th.
Of this month, right?
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
April 14th.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
I still think it was funny about that show because I
That
actually
way.
signed about Whitewater. I
There
signed
he
up.
is.
And it used to be, it was called, when they first started getting out, it was called Swiftwater Adventures. And then I said, well, I was wondering if you were going to call me because I'm Swiftwater. And then 2 days later, they sent me an email saying, okay, we decided against it. And it was called Whitewater Adventures. I was like, well, that's funny. The old switch-o, change-os. They didn't want to get copyrighted.
Hey. There he is.
There we go.
Can you hear us, Justin?
I hear you good.
Hey, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Pretty good.
You good? Well,
First time doing one of these Zoom things like this, seriously. So I was like, all right.
Well, we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us for a bit. Now, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Well, let's start out with the basics, man. All right, what got you started in the prospecting world?
Well, about 9 years old. Well, a little earlier than that. Used to be the buzzard on TV on the Nashville network, TNN, back in the early 90s. And growing up in Oregon, we always learned about the Oregon Trail. And so some of them diverted, went to go mining. And I was like, there's gold out there. Then I see this old guy on TV telling me all about how there's gold out there. And 9 years old, I was hooked. I had to beg my mom for a gold pan. My dad thought it was silly. Didn't want me to you're wasting your time. They've got it all already. And from there, I just had a passion. As soon as I turned 16, see ya, I'm driving to the river.
So how old are you now, dude? If you don't mind me asking.
40.
All right, so you've been prospecting since, let's see, gosh, how many years then? I can't even think. My math's not that good.
30. Well, seriously, since I was 16, but passionately since I was 9.
Right.
So
See?
30 years.
The buzzard got you the way he got all of us. Same way.
Yeah, it was funny because my bedtime was dead set 9 o'clock, and it didn't come on where we were until about 9:30. So I'd have to carefully open closet doors and slide them around to keep the light low, have them open in the hallway so it shaded it away. And then I'd sit really right up close to the TV. I'd be watching it quietly with the volume on level 1. And then I'd just be waiting. Is it going to happen? Okay, there's the gold.
Yeah.
And then
that was
and
it.
then after that.
All right. So when did you find your first gold?
It was actually that year when I was 9 years old.
Oh, really? Okay.
We had a creek by our place. It took a very long time, and it was a tiny, tiny little bit, like flower gold. I grew up in Sandy, the same place the Hoffmans lived, when they went to there. And there wasn't much gold in that area. But if you do enough of it, you'll find a little bit of flour in the mix.
Okay.
And then eventually I rode my bike further south to better creeks and did better, but my parents didn't know.
All right. But you were hooked once you found that first speck, right? It was all over.
Yep.
All right. So what kind of prospecting did you do when you were growing up? Just a pan? What other equipment did you use?
Just a pan. I ended up getting a sluice later on, and then my dad didn't know what it was for, got rid of it. And it was I just panned mainly.
Okay.
16, I was working, I had money, and then every weekend I'd go south to Southern Oregon or take a trip to Eastern Oregon or poke around in Washington. I'd travel all around the Western areas on weekends to go and try and get more.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you definitely dedicated, you were out there trying for sure. I mean, so that's a big change from that to going on Whitewater and doing what you're doing there. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Definitely a big change. I mean, when I turned 16, I saved up sluice and then ended up getting more equipment, and time went on, you always collect more stuff.
Oh God. Yeah. It's just the nature of the beast. You just got to have the latest and the greatest, right? If possible.
Yeah. If you can afford it, but I typically would in the yard sales or something else, or
Yeah, but you probably find that stuff at yard sales down there. See, we don't where we're at. It's like nobody has.
True.
It's kind
True.
of rough.
Do you ever make your own equipment? Or?
Yeah.
I've made little bits of my own equipment, but I always found it was more effective to go buy it. It's already done. The amount of time I put into it was kind of minimal. Plus, I didn't have really the tools growing up to do it. Later on, when I became a welder, I made more stuff, but others make things. So if I can just buy it, focus my time on going and getting more gold, I've come out ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, if they make it, it's going to work right the first time.
They've worked through all the learning curves and all the little tweaks and what order to make the bends and everything. Because I tried making myself a hopper that was a little bigger than the one I had because I wanted to have more room for the shovel.
Right.
And it didn't quite work. I did the brake. I'm like, well, shoot, I can't get this in the brake this way. I got to start over, new metal.
And you're just like, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's go leave it alone. So
yeah.
What kind of mat and stuff do you like using? Do you like using just the miner's moss or?
Whatever works that I have at the time. I have tried Dream Mat. I've tried Gold Hog mats. I mean, they all catch gold.
Yeah.
Depends on which one's better. I can't really say or promote. I mean, just they work.
All right.
They all have their advantages. Miner's moss gives you more to clean up later. Mm-hmm. I use fluid bed sluices most of the time, so because it's easy to set up, dump, clean out, set it back, and go. And with how short of summers are in Alaska, it's more that I need to focus on my productions and getting the amount of digging time I can in the summer because it's going to freeze back up. The creeks are going to cover with ice, and I'm going to be out of luck.
Right.
So
all right. So let's move on to the Alaska phase. When did you go down to Alaska or up to Alaska?
So it was 2006. I've been doing all various jobs and stuff, and finally I got an opportunity to come up to Alaska for work. And I already had known that I wanted to be in Alaska and that the gold was better in Alaska. Maybe not than California. It's kind of, they're both really good states for gold, right. But I wanted to be up here. The mountains are bigger, the rivers are bigger, well, besides the Columbia and everything else. And it just was suitable. I got a job on the North Slope, which was 6 weeks on, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, working the tail off, just going there. And then wife and I, we came up here, we settled in a little bit and got around. And 2006, after that job, was when I lost my finger too, looking for gold.
Wait a minute. Now you got to tell us how you did that.
Well, it was after that first 6 weeks. We were exploring around. We had money now. I just done 6 weeks of solid work. I had a week off, and we're going to go explore Alaska and see more places, check out places. So we were heading up the Glen Highway towards Chickaloon, which is just outside of Palmer, and about 35 miles from where I live now. And so I was looking at these rocks. I'm like, oh, these rocks have quartz lines. There's granite. There's all sorts of cool stuff here. I'm like, So I try to chip a little bit off. I'm leaning on it, looking closer, and I hear a grinding sound. I'm like, what is that? And I look across thinking that it's a rock slide on the other side of the valley because it didn't sound right. And the next thing you know, as I was leaning on there, the rock that I was leaning on slid down and then rolled and smashed my hand.
Oh, cow, dude. Man, that's messed up.
Yeah, you didn't get cut off. You got smashed off.
It got, this one, the pinky that's gone now, it got rolled. So it was bye-bye. And then the ring finger, it broke in the knuckle zone and then got rolled. And then my middle finger got dragged across the rock. So can't quite close my hand all the way. And so when I need to make a promise, because I don't make promises I don't keep, I pinky promise.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. How far away was you from a hospital?
About 40 miles.
40 miles?
About 40 miles. It could have been far worse. There's a lot further of desolate stretches. We were on a highway. But the weird thing of it was the construction company down the road wouldn't help us take the rock off my hand. And they just said, due to liability. And it's like, Alaska's got some of the best Good Samaritan laws. What are you talking about? And we called 911 to see if we can get assistance or whatever, because we didn't have anything on us at the time. And the dispatcher told us that the nearest ambulance in the area was taking a deceased person to Glen Allen, which is like 140 miles from where we're at here. So it's on the way. And we asked, I was confused. I'm like, I don't think he'll say anything. Could they stop and check?
Yeah.
Yeah, them guys on the construction, I'm like, I'll be showing you a liability as soon as I get my hand out here. Every one of you is going to be a liability.
Yeah. That's hard to believe they wouldn't help you. Idiot.
And maybe it was understanding, or maybe they were confused, or I don't know exactly. But my wife had drove up, asked them if they could help, came back. Well, after 2 hours of being stuck there, my stepdad at the time came, had a high lift jack with him. Mm-hmm. And we managed to get that farmer jack under there. He was all his weight on the end propping, and it meant we managed to weasel it out. And then he drove me to the hospital.
That's great. There's no excuse for them not helping you. I don't care, liability or not. You know?
Yeah.
Somebody's stuck like that, you help them. It's like, God.
Yeah, others try. They're like, I have a car jack. I'm like, this rock is pretty big. I don't think that little car jack's going to do.
Oh, man.
The high lift jack, I was like, oh, please don't be one of those made in China copycats, because those things I don't trust. But no, it showed made in USA and all that, tested to whatever. I was like, let's do it. What do I have more to lose, right?
Yeah. Man, dude. Yeah. Hardcore.
And you're probably in a lot of freaking pain.
Yeah.
Damn rock on you.
Well, when the rock was on there, it didn't actually hurt that much. It hurt on the initial, like, but after a bit, it didn't hurt. And then as soon as the rock came off, that's when the pain set in. It's like, ooh. And I had to try and remain calm, which was very difficult. My son was 6 months old at the time. Now he's 17. And so he was in the back with all the, the blue eyes crying, upset. And I was like, great. What's this going to be like now?
But did you think at that time, okay, maybe I should just give this stuff up? Yeah. Did that thought cross your mind or no?
No. It was just wrong place, wrong time. There was a little earthquake when that's what I heard. The sound was the earthquake.
Okay.
It was a 2.2. So I couldn't feel it because it was so light in magnitude, but it was enough that,
it moved them dang rocks. Yeah.
It was enough where I was in the wrong place, wrong time. It fell, landed.
Could have been worse.
Nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse. It could have been up here, or I could have been underneath. Look.
Yeah, right. You're very lucky. It could have been worse. That's for sure.
Yeah, Gold's put me in some weird positions, so
it'll do that.
Now, didn't you used to have a Gold forum?
Yeah, so back when another guy, Rob, had started OregonGoldHunters.com, and then he was having some financial problems and stuff, and I was like, I'll buy it. I want to keep this going. This is really good. And we had a chat. It was before actually Gold Prospector space, and we were doing all that, and then Facebook came along and just started to take a lot of the cloud away, and basically when groups came out, it made it more difficult. And a lot of the members migrated to the Gold Prospector space, which is fine by me. It all worked out, but we were trying to be more Oregon specific. Despite that I lived in Alaska, I knew Oregon very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I remember that forum, actually. Do believe so. But so you moved yourself down to Alaska.
He always says that.
Yeah, let's get used to it. I say
down under. Not down under.
Down to me.
Well, it's down if you go far enough.
There you go. We'll look at it like that. So how did you manage to get hooked up with Dustin and them then?
So in 2019, I was actually supposed to kind of audition for the show. Ryan at the time I put my name in there, and I talked with them, and we had just had the November 30th earthquake, which was 7.1 or 7.0, a big one in Anchorage. And I actually talked with Fred about it. He was asking me, and he's like, we got along great on the phone talking about what we believe, it's about the hunt and stuff like that. And I saw as many homes as there were in the region that needed to be fixed so they can get living back in their homes. And I was one of the few qualified on the foundation systems to actually recover and lift those homes up and get them leveled and secured back so that the families can move back in. So I ended up prioritizing the job and not doing the show back in 2019. Mm-hmm. And every year I've been like, man, what if I was on there? What if I was on there? I would have been mining, doing what I love and I have a passion for. And it just wasn't like every year I had that bit of a problem. Well, it was not too long later, Kayla was actually working on coming up to Alaska. And I've driven the Alaska highway so many times, I've really lost count. I think it's around 40 something. Uh-huh. But so she was on her way to coming up, and she talked to Ryan, since Ryan lived up here, and more people know Ryan than they knew me. And Ryan then put her in touch with me, and I was able to give her pointers along the way. I mean, she's a self-sufficient lady. She has it all handled. But if there were any problems, breakdowns or whatever, I told her, no matter what, I'll hop in my truck, I'll grab my passport, and I'll come make sure you get to Alaska or where you want to go. And she made it. She's kind of limped it into Alaska. She made it and ended up having to change her motor a little while later, but she made it to Alaska just fine. And we kept in contact since then. And then later on, the last year, she was looking for someone, and Ryan had said, hey, Kayla's looking for someone if you know anyone. I'm like, okay, I don't really know who would be qualified for that. They don't want just a new guy completely in there. Mm-hmm. So I ended up talking. She talked over Messenger with me about stuff, and it's like, okay. And I got home, I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, Kayla's looking for someone for the show and stuff. I don't know of anyone to really recommend, but whatever. My wife's like, why don't you do it? I'm like, are you sure? Are you serious? She goes, yeah, you love this. You've always wanted to do this. Why don't you go? You regretted it since the last time you had the chance, and now your workplace isn't the same. You don't enjoy it as much. Why don't you go do something you enjoy? And from that point on, I messaged Kayla. I'm like, hey, could I put my name into the consideration? And from there it took off, and that's how I ended up on Gold Rush Whitewater, was through Kayla.
Now, excuse me. Now, I don't think I've had a chance to see you dive yet. Are you going to be diving?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be diving. Okay. I don't remember. Yeah. I haven't watched the episodes.
I don't know if it did before it ended or not, if you had gotten under the water or not. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Me neither. It's been a while, too long to remember.
Yeah. The mid-season break has been a big old mess with the hundreds of questions. Why'd they cancel? Why'd they cancel? It's like, they didn't cancel. Right. It's just not a mid-season break. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, I don't have that control.
That's discovery.
Especially, I'm the new guy. Like, I'm the lowest on the totem pole of all the crew members there. And they're, asking the lowest guy with the least amount of information or connection and communication.
Sure. They just ask anybody, probably, right?
Like, I answer honestly from the sources I know are reputable, and go from there.
Right. That's what we've gotten so far too. It comes back in a couple of weeks, and we can pick up right where we left off at. So good to go. Yeah. So how does it feel being a new guy on there?
Being the new guy was actually kind of tough. It was because they have their systems, they have their methods. I've been doing it so long, I've got habits of my own.
Right.
But luckily, on Kayla's crew, that actually helped, because Kayla's I'm not trying to discredit anyone else, but Kayla's done this for a living, and she dredges, off from the show. James does too. And I mean, everyone has their skill set, but Kayla is more like I am with being experienced, finding gold, and sometimes having to live off the gold that you've mined to make it. And so Kayla and I were more eye to eye in the way we sampled, looked for the places and chose and stuff like that. So worked good. It was just difficult because they all have their systems. Like Scott had his ways, Paul had his ways, Kayla had her ways, and they're all doing things a certain way. And they're trying to teach me these things. And then we have these little breaks in between where like I'm not able to repeat them a couple times to actually solidify, learn them. And so that it created a bit of that was the problem being the new guy.
Right.
It's like I've never used comms underwater. And so that was a whole new learning process.
Mm-hmm.
I never used the full face mask. I always used goggles and a mouthpiece. So just different things to learn.
Sure.
But
what do you think about that plank system? Did you? You ever done anything like that? Walking across planks on the side of rocks?
No, that was definitely different. Like we were trying to. I mean, it was at the time when lumber was horrendous, and they came up with the idea like, because to get it up there, we'd have to put it on the airboat. Well, we need long pieces. And if we got a bunch of short ones, it would cost even more money because the race, it was just crazy. So it's like, they ended up deciding we're going to get a little sawmill and make them. So then Scott was put on the task of running the chainsaw and stuff. And I was helping to pull and work that chainsaw mill across the boards that we found from trees in the river that were just laying there and washed out. And so yeah, that was a lot of work to make those. We had to pack them all in from the base by the river up the canyon and around to get as close as we could to it. Right. And so that's a lot of work. But that did put in perspective how bad a shape I was at the beginning of season.
So this is probably like the hardest you've ever had to work to get gold, right?
Yeah. Maybe it was harder because I'm older now and I've indulged in a little extra food and haven't worked out like when I was younger. I did it all the time, so it might not have seemed like as much work to me back then. But no, those were a lot. Like I've packed dredges down canyons in places because I know if you can drive up and get the gold, it's probably hit more often. If I'm able to get into a canyon further away on a known gold bearing area, maybe one or two people have hit that area instead of 20 to 30 to 100. Yep. So I've done that kind of stuff before, but not like that. That was definitely difficult. And those logs were fresh cut. So they were wet, heavy cottonwood, just nasty.
I mean, that's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with cottonwood. I bet it was heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wet and heavy. We were trying to we were getting the pipes because we had to core drill into the wall and then insert the pipes into the wall. They had to be deep enough that they'd give the lateral stability for the weight of the plank, and then to tie back on there with earthquake straps and stuff. Like it was crazy, but it worked and we used it.
Mm-hmm. It definitely works, right?
Yeah. I was like, man, I hope these don't bow. I hope they don't turn slimy. Like we get rain out there. If the wood turns slimy, how are we going to get across? But
yeah, it
worked out. The rough cut of the saw kept the surface enough grippy. Eventually we smoothed it out and we added grip, like that, kind of like roofing material, that grippy stuff.
Oh yeah, I got you. Oh, that's definitely got to help for sure. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked out great.
Now you enjoy really working on Kayla's crew a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded whichever crew I was on, but I liked working on Kayla's crew because, when you have so much experience, you found more gold than most people have in their entire lives. Mm-hmm. It's really difficult to take orders from someone who hasn't done that before as much as you. And, Kayla being out there mining for a living herself, I can respect that and know that she's done the hard work to figure it out and do what's required. So it's easy enough when she says, Justin, I want you to do this. Okay. That makes sense. I'll do it.
Right. Sure. Because
it was easier to, in the gold mining perspective, just to work with her because of that experience. And she would actually ask me, what do you think about this area? What do you think about this band? Like we were talking honestly about finding spots to where we could. Granted, we were limited because if we worked in certain areas, then we'd either have to make more planks further or make more trail, or the production who's around us has to be in consideration too of where they're going to be working. So even though we sampled areas, we had to choose kind of the best workable place for everyone involved, not just our interest in the gold.
Right. I got you. So what about like the living conditions down there? How do you feel about that? Your thoughts?
Fine by me.
Fine and dandy.
I mean, fine and dandy. I mean, we had tent covers where, I mean, I had better sleep situation. I had a little mattress. It was great. So we had a full camp set up. I mean, it kind of sucked because I came in later, and so they had all the original crew from last year, besides the ones not returning, were out there and doing all the prep work and all the beginning work. And I wish I could have been a part of that to actually help versus being this new guy that's fresh and comes right in. And it's like, here I am fresh. They've all been putting in this work, and I'm reaping the benefits of it. I just was like, damn it. I wish I was here sooner. I could have done something. I could have shoveled snow. I don't care. Whatever it is. I'll do the laborsome tasks. You guys do what you want to consider.
What, Scott? What did you say?
I said, no, I like the way he did it.
Well, next year you won't. You'll have to be right there from the beginning, right? Get all prepped and ready.
Whenever that happens.
Right. Now, how far do you live from the claim? I know Carlos ain't that far. So do you get to go home every weekend?
No. No, I'm actually in South Central Alaska, closer towards Anchorage. So it's about 700 miles away.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Home every weekend.
So no, and you got to go through Canada to Haines Junction, then south. So you got to go through Canada to get to the mining site.
Gotcha. So you're kind of there for the season when you get there, right? You maybe go to Pomona occasionally with them.
To go home. What was that?
No, you sometimes go to town with the crew and stuff.
We'd restock, kind of resupply, because despite what they bring in for us, sometimes we have our own ideas of what we need, personal care items and such. We go back to town, get resupply on the weekend. Sometimes it was only a day. We spent a lot of time with that airboat doing the travel and then going through. It wasn't like the way they had at the previous claim site at McKinley, but it worked out. And I played disc golf with the guys, and
So what's your thoughts on the airboat situation?
It worked. I mean, it worked. It wasn't the most pleasant. The water's shallow in spots, so you end up rubbing gravel. We had, there were some hairy turns and stuff and problems, and, some things I can't get into yet, but, it worked, but it was definitely a bumpy adventure every time we took that ride, and, loading it up, trying to make sure we don't mess up the props, make sure we load it balanced, because if you off balance it, next thing you know, Dustin, when he's doing his rudder steer thing in the back for the air paddles for the blower, you've got to do it a certain way, or else you end up having this offload, and next thing you know, water's coming in from another side. But I'll say it was an adventure. It was really cool.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, they call that eating crap where I come from.
Okay, I got a question for you. How about wildlife? Whether you're at the gold camp or you're out prospecting by yourself, do you ever come across any wildlife that you wish you didn't come across? Bears, moose, cougar?
So this isn't show related. When was this? I'm trying to remember. It was, like 2015, 2014, something like that. I was down at Crow Creek, which is near Girdwood, just south of Anchorage. And I was by the creek, but I was testing around more because back in 95 or 96, there was a flood that went through Crow Creek and totally diverted and changed the channel. So if you could find some of the old channel stuff with this, like the blue and gray clay, you were onto the better flaky big gold. So I'm testing around on higher areas, trying to find that and taking that down to the creek. Well, I got down there and I'm washing this clay off and I'm working it. And then I'm down on one knee and I'm panning, just going along, no problems, trying to see if I got anything. I'm looking at little signs. Is there's this stone here? Is this one here? And the next thing I hear is like a little, and I look behind my shoulder and there's a bear smelling my boot.
Oh.
So I'm just like, remain calm, pan for Zen, don't raise the heart rate. I'm swirling the pan, just staring down, I'm like listening, remain calm, because there's no way I'm not going to be able to grab my piece and do this in time. That bear would have swatted me and I'd have been over like a bowling pin. And, you know, I could feel the heart racing and I like tensed up, but I'm trying to relax, trying the best I can. Eventually it didn't like what it smelled in my boots, I guess, because I didn't let them dry out properly the night before. And it started going downstream. Uh-oh. So I stayed in place and kept doing. I already knew it was in the pan. I was done. I'm just basically swirling black sands in circles just for the peace of mind of wait. And like, I'm not changing my position. I'm not making any sudden moves to scare the bear. It goes on down. This was a brown bear, a big brown bear. It was at least 5 years old. It was a good size one. It wasn't one of those small yearlings or whatever. I'd guess it was probably a 600-800 pounder. Oh. And so I packed my stuff. Once the bear was down and out of sight, I packed my stuff up. I put my phone on to ring to an alert sound, because it's kind of like bear bells when where if they hear the bell, they know where you're at and they don't care. They know you're not bothering them and you're going somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So I did that, went up the high trail and went back down. And there were some prospectors with families down at the lower end. So I hurried up around the top there in case the bear found something or whatever. It might have taken a detour, but I got down to the lower end because there were a bunch of children down there too. And I was like, hey, there's a brown bear upriver. Make sure you guys keep your kids close in proximity so they don't get any bear doesn't want to take them, because children are easy. And the guy's like, I'm ready for them. I'm like, all right, settle down. You keep the kids over here close to you and be alert. There's so much noise and commotion going in here. I'm sure the bear's just going to go around somewhere else, but
that's great.
It sounds like the bear was actually tracking your footsteps, and when he found out what was making the smell, which would be your boots, he's like, "Well, I'm not."
That could be a probability. That could be a probability.
Yep. Well, they're always curious, if different smell. They never smell boots going through the woods. They're like, "Hey, what's this?" Let me follow it and find out what it is.
Right. So, I guess it's possible. Yeah. Still, I wouldn't want to turn around and see a bear sniffing my boot.
No. I mean, I was like, what am I going to do if this bear gets me? What?
No, he was right there, dude.
It was like thousands of thoughts running and trying to focus and remain calm. And yeah, I had a little chest piece, but there's no point in it.
Right.
Like, bears so fast, just boom. Yeah. And I'd be gone. So
that bear would have never touched me, because if I turned around and see him sniffing my boot, the stuff I left in my pants, he would not have wanted.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like, wow, this food got a little stinker.
This food's rotten.
Dead.
Yeah, agreed. I feel the same way, Scott. Jesus God. So do you ever go out on your own while you're down there? Just go, I'm going to go out and go do some testing, go do some exploring.
I poked around a little bit, but it just like, you've done so much over the week prospecting and stuff that it was difficult to really do that, especially when you're out there because the claims aren't yours.
Right.
You have to get the permission, and then if you find something they want to know and stuff. So out at the claims, no, I didn't really poke around much. I'm sure Dustin wouldn't have really minded, but then safety on site and all that wanted to account for me where I was at the time. But when I was back in town, I did do some welding for one of the miners in the area, helped him out with his nugget trap trays and did some fixes and welding on his stuff. And I got a good little day in of panning. It was Porcupine Creek just up from Big Nugget. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
I got to do a little me time prospecting, but a lot of time. Like when we're out at camp, there was no like I wanted to, but then there's private lands and there's public lands and there's claims all up that, and so
what
they don't like you wandering by yourself.
I mean, what do you do for your me time when you got the downtime? What do you do? Just chill?
Well, yeah, a lot of times it's just you hang out, talk about the day. Of course, you got cameras on you. Towards the evening, they eventually come off, mics get turned in, and everything kind of mellows out. And a lot of times what I just enjoy is sit there and, James would talk about his mining stuff, and Wes and Paul would talk about flying, or we talk about all the things that we enjoy doing and what we've done. And, Carlos tells stories about diving or groupers. And then,
that was an interesting story.
Yeah, it was hearing it from him right there and seeing him, because he sat to my right most of the times, or I just sit and watch Kayla. I'd be entranced as she's doing this, doing all that. Next thing you know, these wires everywhere suddenly coming to fruition with a piece of gold into this beautiful little thing. And I'm like, how the hell did you do that? I wish I could do that so fluidly. I'm sure I could if I tried and learned, but why? Right. She does it.
Yeah, right. She does it.
She does it. So I can just be like, Kayla, here's some.
I'll just buy one from you. Thank you. That way I don't have to try to make it myself.
Does it have any stuff that you're going to work on? Like Kayla has that, Carlos has the piece that he's going to be working on, possibly selling. Do you have anything that you're planning on doing?
I haven't really kind of thought about that, but I mean, I'm known locally as the Alaska Gold Hunter, and I've been doing a lot of like TikTok lives, and I've had upwards of 5,000 people in there watching me pan gold in my garage because it's snowy outside in the winter, and the places I've checked have not been safe because of avalanches and snowpack. We ended up having a higher snow year. Seems to be the theme everywhere in the West, even up here north, more snow than normal. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been thinking about doing that. I also focus on strength training. I work out with my son. He does a lot of powerlifting and strongman events, and he wants to set some American records in strongman before he turns 18. So I've been working with that. We have this thing that we do, strong son, strong dad, and that was before I even got on the show. And so
I got a friend that still does
kind of the different branches. So I'm kind of going with the Alaska Gold Hunter theme. I have a site that I'm working on. I did a little giveaway for gold when I was doing an online live before, but as it progresses, who knows? I still have time to figure more out before the season ends on the show.
Right. That's true. Yeah. It's like, what's your TikTok one? What's it called?
Alaska Gold Hunter.
The Gold Hunter. So if they want to follow you on TikTok, there you go. Alaska Gold Hunter. Very cool.
Oh, yeah. I see the space stations in there.
Now, how does it get to you sometimes having the cameras around you all the time? I mean, because that's pretty new to you, right?
Kind of. In the beginning, it was a little more awkward, but I was never really uncomfortable with it. It was just the new setup, like wearing things and stuff. So the first time I got mic'd up out it was really hot for Haines. It kind of had a little bit of an inversion layer. So down by the river, it was like 80 degrees. But if you got up the hills away from that cooler down lower air, it was like when I was in the first part when I was following Kayla up. Now, granted, it was earlier in the season. I was like 264 pounds. And here I am trying to follow the little Kayla, who's a beast, up this steep terrain. I'm like, I am over twice your size. I'm carrying the heavier loads too. And I am totally not in shape. And she's a crazy work beast. I'm like, I'm not going to let pain or agony or whatever. I'm just going to breathe what I can and keep up. And I'm getting up there, but I'm wearing my overalls because I wasn't sure kind of what would be more effective when out there, because there's Devil's Club and all sorts of stuff. I wish I'd have wore something lighter, but I didn't bring that much stuff. And so going up the hill there, that was, where was I going with this? But yeah, the heat, sweat, that was the tough part with the, like, starting out of shape and realizing where I was. Now I'm in the 230s and I do more cardio and I'm focusing on being better. So I'm not the heavy weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not the one holding people back or anyway. I mean, I know Scott started that way and then he did the show and he lost weight through. You can see it from the multiple seasons he was on there. He went from little chubby face like I was too, and then to now slimmer.
Yeah, that's cool. See, good. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, that it doesn't bother you. It's just another day on the job, right?
Yeah, the cameras didn't really. But where I was going with that was 90 degrees, and the microphone, which was underneath because it runs through and down, it was actually like getting wet from my sweatiness. Like, I'm used to cold. I mean, it's like 40 degrees outside and I'm sweating in t-shirts and stuff right now because we're used to cold. And so it's the beginning of the season. We were used to the cold, but my mic kept slipping off from the double tape from the sweat and going down. So they were missing audio and they'd have to keep coming up. And then I felt sorry for the camera guy or the sound guys, because they'd have to reach in and here's all my sweaty cheeks. And they're trying to pin. They're like doing tape. And then they finally got the safety pin on there. And then when the heat wave kind of subsided, it was easier, but
nice.
Yeah, during that heat wave, being sweaty and out of shape, it was not pleasant for the sound guys, but I appreciate every time they tolerated me.
Sure. Yeah. They're just doing their job, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, sorry, but I got to reach down your sweaty shirt.
Yep. Here, I need you to do this. Your sound's not coming in.
I posted a link to your YouTube channel too. You got 4 more new subscribers already. So
cool. Okay. Got it. So
I'm working on my system. I'm trying it out here with my backdrop and stuff so I can do some more on the YouTube end. I've never really done the YouTube like back when I was going to. I ended up meeting Ryan, and Ryan had his channel taken off. You guys could probably see me when I was really big. Exposed bedrock video he did. It was down in the canyon, and I was helping an old man with his pump and stuff, and I was really big. But yeah, Ryan was doing the YouTube and I was just helping out. We were buds. We'd gotten there. Ryan had the effort, put forth everything, and then I ended up just I'd come back and go to work back and forth and constantly see them improving and doing better and better. So I never ended up doing that. And then it's hard to do the YouTube when you're working so much up here in Alaska, because typically the summer is when you get the work done. So when you have time to mine, it's like one day and you got to dig as much as possible to build up your concentrates. And I save my concentrates for the winter because I only have so much time in the summer to mine. And so I can pan in my garage in the evenings and do what I do. And
that's true.
When it's middle winter, 10, 15 below, and the snow is out there, I'm not going to be playing in the water in that really. And I can do it in my garage and work on the small gold later. I'll pull the big pieces out first though.
Now you're up 6 subscribers.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice. Very cool.
Now, did you bring any gold porn to show us today?
Yes, hopefully. Let's just see.
No, I was also going to ask you.
Oh, let's see here. Let's do this one.
Oh, that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that one.
Huh? Found somebody's tooth.
Or how I can. Let me see if I could place these up here. It's coming.
All right, we're patient. Not a problem.
Oops. Let me set this down here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's falling. Dang it. And it's blurred. There we go. Keep your hand there.
Clunking around.
Wait. Got that. Wait. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. That one there. That one you just moved was a nice one.
Yeah. These are some of the chunks from the seasons before.
I can hear
your background's kind of backdrop things blurring it out.
Oh, is it echoing a bit?
Yeah, it's making it blurry because of the blur your background thingy.
Yeah, you got to turn your
blurry. I see.
Yeah, it's still blurry. Dang it!
Still blurry. Darn it! What's it doing?
Well, you got to go through your settings to.
I know. On Zoom, you got to turn your blur off.
I was gonna say that, or just poke your finger in the pan.
Of course, it zoomed in on me. Of course, I'm making this. Hi, guys. Where's the Zoom thing that I do that at so I can show this pretty stuff?
Where it says your video camera looking thing there.
There's a little up arrow. Click that up arrow, and it says video filter.
There we go.
Or yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. There we go. Now we're starting to see. There it's starting to take shape. Oh, see, I like that one. A big chunk.
I bet you do.
That one on the right.
That one kind of looks like a little. This one looks like a little duck, or some say a rabbit.
Like
a seahorse.
A rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a seahorse.
Seahorse.
That one looks like a brain.
Now, if you flipped it around, it looked like the Horn of Africa.
All right.
Very nice. Nice.
I have these separated. These are the pieces that I got when I was playing around at Porcupine by myself.
Oh, really? That's some nice.
Yep.
Pieces. Real nice.
Nice little pieces there.
Yep.
Nice little characters. These are just this one. These are, I don't know if that vial's kind of dirty. But then, oops. Try to make sure I'm in the shot here.
There it is. Oh yeah, that's more nice looking gold.
These are the kind that I usually get just plucking off the sluice before I before I send my concentrates down for winter processing.
Very nice. Yeah. There it is.
All right.
Nice looking gold. Very cool, brother. Thank you. Yeah. Nice. So what we'll do, actually, let's open up the phone lines. If anybody's got any questions for Justin, you can give us a call at 419-520-7574. You can call and ask him your question, and we'll see if he can answer for you. Okay, so phone lines are open now. So
awesome.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody's got any questions for you. They can call in.
Learning this whole Zoom thing out.
That's kind of easy. Makes life easier for sure for the video thing. A lot easier. Yeah. So let me see. Oh crap! What else was it? I'd lost my train of thought looking at the gold now.
I know, it's so distracting.
It is. You go from all right, head questions, then it's like, oh, gold. But it's cool though that
I do have some small stuff back in the garage too, but it's still under the pan, wet from last night when working it. So
right. Yeah, you got to do it. You definitely have to go through it. Now, is there any certain way you like to process it? Do you have like a Miller table or a multi,
I have things, but what I try to just pan. I love panning, and it kind of gives me that peace. I just I can tell that I'm letting the stress. I'm forgetting what's going on in whatever other situation in my life. I just pan and I just see it. And now that I do it on TikTok lives at night a lot, and I'll go in there, set my phone on there, and I'll just pan and answer questions about where I found gold across the country and all the places I've been, and the, A lot of times it's what's the biggest? How much have you gotten? And all that.
Shit.
And
yeah. That's always
So.
too much.
Now you do classify down in different sections to make it easier, of course.
Yeah, I mainly classify down to 30 mesh. So 30 mesh and below, I just pan the 30 mesh below. And then the things that are above 30 mesh, easy to pan, quick and easy. And
it's either gold or nothing most of the time. So
yeah. And when it comes down to the little stuff, you know, it adds up like snowflakes. I mean, Ray can attest to that. I've seen some of his powder stuff add up.
Oh, Jesus, God, that stuff's amazing. Yeah. I don't know how he does it. That's like powder.
It's a challenge. It is a challenge. He sent me some stuff, and I love a challenge, and it was a challenge, definitely. So
I can't even pan. Yeah. No, I can't even do it. I don't have the patience.
Oh, I can pan it. It just takes a while.
I had some Cape Disappointment stuff. That was some fine powdery stuff. I've wanted to prospect Juneau because I passed through Juneau many times for work, going to different places in Southeast because it's kind of the hub. Right. You take the big airliner like Alaska or Delta to Juneau, and then you fly the little planes out other places when you're going for work. And it's like every time I get into Juneau, I'm like, dang it, I wish I had more time layover here to go explore Juneau.
Yeah.
Avoid the politicians, but
right.
Yeah. Maybe I could run into him and I could be second place.
You just call Ray, say, I'm here. So is there any dream place you would like to go and prospect?
I've already been to Australia. I went detecting in Australia back when I was younger and had my business. So I landed in Perth. They had to pay to dig. Gold prices were only like $300 an ounce. So they made more money off tourists than their gold. So they were trying to have tourists come in and fill that void of money back then when gold prices were down low. And I went to Mikathera to do some metal detecting on some areas there. And so I already got to experience that. I did about 14 ounces in 2 weeks.
Well, that's real good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Well, like there was 5 or 6 days of nothing. Just I had the belt with the chain on, and you walk and you drag that chain and it drags a mark line on the red dirt. And so when you get down to the other end, you turn around and you walk parallel to that other line you just dragged, and you swing from the line to line. So you're not skipping anywhere, because if you miss one, you might miss a little patch of, there could be a little washout or something underneath the dust that would have more gold. I probably walked close to 120 miles before I found anything. Like I'm figuring I probably did 20 miles a day, but I was dead set. I'm going to get some gold here. I'm this far away from my stomping grounds where I could get more. I'm getting something. Eventually about day 5 or 6, they kind of all went to a blur. Plus I was doing it in uncomfortable boots with leather up above my knees to avoid the snake bites. And finally I got this little chirp. I got this little wee, wee. I'm like, happening, and I dug it up, and yep, I had a little tiny little peanut piece about the size of one of those, and I was like, this is great. All right, go a little further down, come back that same parallel route, and I could see where I dug the hole before and it was covered. You can see the difference in the color of dirt from the red dark into the red dry when you dug it up that first couple inches. I smoothed it over, but I could see exactly, and I got another one about 2 feet away from it.
Yeah.
So then I went back down the other way, came back, and I found there was a line perpendicular where the gold kind of fanned up through there. And I looked further up there was a slight grade in the hill, and that valley progressed. And that's where I ended up finding that wash. I turned my line from going this way. I went perpendicular and kind of followed that track, and I could see that it went kind of at an angle from the direction I was going. And I just chased that. It was like a dust covered. So the wind blows really good in the outback back there in the Western Australia. And so there might be a washout that happened before from monsoon or whatever, flood rain, and the dust will blow and fill it in. So you won't even notice that underneath there is the pebbles and rocks that have been through a wash, like what you'd see normally in Arizona, but they're covered in this red dust. And that's how I found my 14, was just walking the miles and swinging the detector. I mean, a lot of times people give up sooner, but when you want it, you keep going and trying to find it. If you know you're in an area that has it, it just takes dedication to get that gold.
Right. Now, how old was you when you went down there and did that?
18, almost 19.
You were still young, right? So that was quite the journey, leaving from Oregon, right?
I had my coffee shop that was going, so I had income from there. I had managers, and so they took care of the shop. I told them, if it's over $500, you can contact me, but if not, then take care of it. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Nice.
And so I had the money, I had the opportunity, I had the passport. I was old enough. I didn't need anyone's consent.
Right.
It was also probably the worst time to go, but I'm glad I did it, because I probably would have never had quite financially had the opportunity to do it again. Because the business ended up having, the building I was in got eminent domained. And I got the eviction notice from the owner, who got a fat check from the government for the property, the fair market value. And I had to try and find a new location, and it never quite worked. So who knows when the next time would be that I would have been able to do it if I hadn't just taken that chance right then and done it.
Mm-hmm. So was that your dream spot, or is there somewhere else you'd still like to get that you have in your sights?
It was my dream spot, and I took the chance right away. Right. So now I don't, there's some, well, it's hard to say, because like there's places in California I'd really like to be doing more of, because I'm really fond of California. My best season was in northern California by Wairika, where I had 100-ounce summer, and that was really good. I'm really fond of the Klamath River and that basin area there, because that's where I ended up living in my car after the coffee shop shuttered, and I went mining for a living down there. But I'd like to explore more of the Sierras, but now that I've seen Paulie's video and the other guys, and they're doing stuff in New Zealand, maybe that's next. I mean, the sniping, he's just fanning it away, and I'm going to suck this one up.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's that easy there.
Takes a lot of hours, though.
What metal detector did you use when you were in Australia?
A MineLab GP 3000, 35, whatever, one of the older ones. All the switches and toggles that took forever to learn.
But you did it.
A little.
Do you do any now? Do you still metal detect, or?
Yeah, I do metal detect now. Not as much as I used to. I have a Garrett ATX now. I had to so when the finger went, I sold a lot of my gold to cover my medical bills, and then Kayla, and then I lost a lot of the gold I had saved up, was gone from the finger and medical expenses, an American problem, and then I sold the detector and other things like that. Now I have a Garrett ATX that I use for detecting and going with, and I haven't paid it for it back yet, because I haven't been enough. I usually end up going dredging, sluicing, playing in the water. I do want to play with it more, but I need the right grounds to do it, because a lot of the places I would use it have a lot of trash, and the time, like, it's hard to get enough gold detecting in the wrong areas to beat dredging or high banking or whatever else you do. So
true. Oh man, New Zealand, huh?
That would probably be the next place, because I've already done Australia. I've done California. There's places in California I'd love to be more into. I mean,
but
I would like to head up. I mean, really anywhere. Maybe Europe. Maybe I could go mining in Europe and meet some. I've made some new contacts in Spain and Germany that go mining on a regular basis, and I don't know, anywhere.
It'd be interesting.
It doesn't matter where for gold.
Yeah.
My first dream was like, I know there's windswept left behind nuggets in Australia, but now I've already gotten them. So it's like, okay, would I like to go back there again? Absolutely. I don't know. My wife says she'd love to, but I don't think she'd like the thought of all the critters.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that seems.
Yeah, I don't think she'd like the thought of the critters in there.
That seems to be everybody's dream spot. Australia seems like you said.
I mean, yeah, it was in the beginning. Now maybe New Zealand, because it's more maritime, less hot.
Yeah.
The heat was the burden. Like, Australia was painfully hot. It was like, there was, what was it, 40 something Celsius they were talking about. So it was like 108 degrees out there nonstop.
No, that's cakewalk.
Yeah. What about Arizona, Justin?
I'll Arizona's good. I played in Prescott, so
Okay.
I did a 22,000-mile road trip with during that time as well with the Australia and stuff, trying to go places. And so I've been to 49 states. I still have Maine left to do.
Wow. All of them you've looked for gold in?
Most of them.
Okay.
Some of them I didn't quite like. I tried to prove there was gold in Florida. I got skunked. But I've gotten little bits, dust, mainly flower gold in a lot of the places, but like Texas, this was a long time ago. I went, Buku took me out, rest in peace, took me out to the Llano River at the gold claims down there in Texas, went to Georgia, visited with the LDMA camp there, and did some show and tell and talking and stuff, and did a little bit of that. Went up to Carolina. I should have spent more time in Carolina. I'd love the gems and stuff that come out of there and the unique rocks. But, you know, when you're trying to get to as many places as possible, you can't spend as much time there. But I found gold in Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. It's there.
Sure.
You just sometimes you got to put in hours to get just a very little bit. Yeah. And other places it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at. Hard to find.
Yeah. Pennsylvania. So I was out there. We were a group of guys. There was a camping going on there. They were going to go deer hunting. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't have a tag. I don't have anything to do this. I'm like, I asked the landowner when because we were all camping there. It was a meetup. And I asked the landowner, like, can I go pan this creek over here? We were just north of Lancaster up in the hills. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, there's golden Lancaster.
He looked at me like, what? You're gonna pan that creek?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's better than nothing. Plus, if I go with them, they're gonna expect me to help haul their deer out, and I don't want to do that. I don't get to do anything, and they're gonna haul that. No, I'd rather go try and get nothing I'd rather get nothing and try than to do that. And I got a little powder, little flower gold, but it was a little tiny bit out of like 5 classified buckets for a little tiny bit. I get more out of a bag of sand locally than I would.
All right. What about Ohio? Did you ever come to Ohio?
Ohio River, yeah. So there's the Utica on the eastern side of the state. And I went down to the river by there. There's a little gravel bar, because the problem with those big rivers is they have run of the river dams, and that keeps the water kind of fluid. So gravel bars are kind of seldom. But I was able to find a gravel bar over on the eastern side and work a little bit of that. And I just focused on, there's a black sand trail. So this is like a beach. Let's see if there's any color in this black sand trail on this beach. Got a little bit, so I could say I got it.
That's right.
That was really accomplished. I never expected anything big from those places.
No.
I wanted bigger and better from like places I knew had gold, like Georgia and North Carolina. But
yeah, you expect to find bigger stuff there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
you expect bigger. Keep your expectations low where others, but it's all around.
Yeah, I bet it is. But still 49 states. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
I still regret.
Must have been Utah, the one that you skipped over, right?
Maine.
You should have skipped over Utah too.
I've crossed through Utah many times, but it was Maine because I was up 95 just out of Boston, and I took the cutoff, and then I got a call from one of the guys. They're like, oh, we got a little party going on up here. You want to play some Counter-Strike and we can do whatever. I'm like, oh, LAN party? Cool. We'll play some games or whatever. And I ended up turning and going that way. And I thought I would backtrack to there, but I ended up going north and crossing into Quebec and back around, and never returned to Maine.
Maine's
Hawaii
got
was the other one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen some people out of there showing me like, oh, why'd you miss Maine? Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, really? You'll have to get back there then someday. That's hopefully you can. Hopefully you can get back to there.
Yeah, no, wife and I are planning on it. Son's 17. He's gonna be doing his own thing.
A lot easier than New Zealand.
That what, Scott?
That'd be a heck of a lot easier than New Zealand.
Oh, going to Maine would be easier than New Zealand?
I would hope, yeah.
Well, getting there would be easier, but and finding a spot, because who knows about the requirements. But obviously others can do it. If Pioneer Poly went to went to New Zealand, which is why it now is in my vision, like, oh, there's another place.
Right. Yeah. See?
Now, does your wife or son have any interest in prospecting, or?
My wife likes the results.
Yeah.
She doesn't like doing it. She likes the results, not doing it. My son is a great help with moving the big rocks and stuff, because he does that strongman and competition stuff, and he'll help me move the large rocks. I mean, he's a beast. So he'll help me move the large rocks and stuff. I mean, he can lift almost a 300-pound Atlas stone. So
I got a friend in Indiana that does that, Sean Smith. He's a strong man and used to go around in competitions. I don't know if he still does, but I know he still works out.
Wow.
Nice.
Crazy. But does your son like the prospecting part, or does he just like to come and help you out a little bit? Just help.
He just likes to come and help. Sometimes when we get really, if we're getting more big stuff, then he gets excited about it and it's really cool. And he's like, Dad, for my work, can you get me a collection figure over here? I'm like, of course you want something.
Yeah. That's kids.
Well, I mean, some kids today are like, well, they're still like me, are like I am now. Somebody says, hey, let's go panning. I'm like, no. I have no patience to go panning.
Yeah, I guess that's why you start them young, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what we all start out.
Sticks with them, That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, we had the buzzard.
Yeah.
That's what got every one of us started watching that.
Yeah, remember you couldn't watch him unless you had one of the big dishes out in your yard.
Yeah.
Oh no, where we lived, it was on public television. So
you were
right. I had old TV down in the basement, and I was like him. We had to listen real close to it, and
yeah. But it always had a weird schedule because, like you said, it was on public television, so you didn't even know if it was going to be on, because I don't even think they listed it in a TV guide back then.
I always used to see it on Sunday mornings.
Oh, was it Sunday morning?
I used to watch it Sunday mornings after bass fishing.
I used to watch it about Thursdays on the Dish Network, and it was about 10 o'clock
on TNN.
Oh, see, different times, I guess, because
yeah.
Like crazy.
For me in Oregon, it was at 9:30 p.m. My bedtime was 9, and it was on TNN, the Nashville network, before it changed over, and that's when I'd have to sneak and watch it.
Yeah, it was the Outdoor Channel, I remember.
It was the Outdoor Channel was one Buzzard made.
Yeah, see, that was long before.
Yeah, they made that.
I'm older.
Yeah. What I'm talking about was before the Outdoor Channel was actually made.
Yes.
And Tom and Perry made, they made the Outdoor Channel afterwards, which then featured Prospecting America, Gold Fever, and they had a few other kickoff shows, things that they did. But
oh yeah, I mean, you think about it. That's God. I look at my age, and that was probably like 50 years ago.
Oh, I used to laugh my butt off.
I used to watch it on public television.
I used to watch the show just to see the buzzer going, well, you're not doing that right. Give me that show.
Yeah, I think I was joined GPAA back in '97. So,
jeez, it's crazy though when you think about it. That's what got all.
I'm a lifetime member now. I don't even know when I signed up for GPA. That's holy cow. That's been a long time ago.
But back then, it was like all the golds in California and Alaska. That's all we.
I come out this way to dig in California, and they put a band on everything. The freaking same year I get here, I'm like, really?
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the thing. Everything you heard was all the golds in California, all the golds in Alaska. There's no gold nowhere else, and it's like, okay. And you get older, and you start realizing, that's okay. There's gold.
Oh yeah, there's gold.
Gotta look for it. That's the thing. And you've done it, and that's what's cool. You've been to Australia and all these other places. That's an awesome career.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like, and still got more to go.
Right.
Well, I'm hoping to do more in Canada too. Like, I've done pay to dig tourist sites in Canada, but I always wasn't sure about the rules, like respecting digging there. I didn't know. I never really looked up either. So they're playing. I was by Edmonton, and I met with some guys out that would dig off the North Saskatchewan River out near Devon. They had their high bankers with the big bicycle tires. They roll out there, set them up, and then they go for, hours. And next thing you know, they've got tons of powder, just like what Ray shows, tiny powder gold, just bunches of it. And I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of gold in this river, actually.
Sure. See, now, have you thought about like getting your own claim, or do you already have your own claims?
I kind of share with Ryan. So Ryan, Ryan's been more dedicated to finding claims and getting operations going. Right. And when I go out with people, I don't take them to claims of other people, or I wouldn't take them to my own claim. We go to places that are publicly accessible, that are public places, because you take a newbie to a claim, they think they can go there anytime, lesson learned from the past. Or they're like, oh, we know he's working now, so he's not going to be at the claim. We can go do this. And just different things like that. So, I mean, there's ways people can find these things, but nah.
I mean, do you plan on maybe like doing this the rest of your life, like starting a big operation of your own, maybe, and just making this your life? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if we get our financials kind of tightened up and more frugal, like, I'm envious of Kayla because she lives a frugal life, takes care of her stuff, and she has everything in a kind of more of an order and a side business that she does with her jewelry. Right. Like, I admire that about her and how she's able to live her dream doing that more. My son's almost 18, so I'll have less on that front to take care of. And as we get more towards the later in life, realizing what we could have been doing and what we've missed, we want to get after it some more. So there's talks. Depends on what the wife really wants to do. Right. Sometimes it comes down to that. But I'd like to have a big operation and. I saw Ray's.
Wait, what did Ray say?
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw that. Ray said, is it just me, or does Justin have a cute baby face?
Is that what Ray said?
I've been actually trying to take care of it, especially when you're on camera. It's like, my goodness, one little fallacy and you could end up having, having that camera on you. I'm sure production does something. I don't know what they do. I haven't seen myself on there yet, but it's like, what if I have a big one right here and I don't take care of it?
You say, I am an actor. That's what you are now, right?
So I've actually been trying to take care of it and stuff. And I don't have quite the chubby face I used to. I'm down, the whole summer trying to keep up with like Kayla and Paul, and Scott too, but trying to keep up with them all summer. Holy crap. I lost a bunch of weight quickly doing that. A lot of that work, moving rocks and so forth. It was really good for me. And I've maintained and tried to keep it down and work on everything. I'm just trying to like seeing myself on there and putting myself out there like that. It's like, I know I need to step it up and take better care of myself. So yeah, that's
right. Cause I'm sure you got
seems to work. They recognized.
Yeah, you always got the haters out there that got something to say about everything, right? So, I think.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple haters who were like, "Why did Kayla bring that fat guy out there?" I'm like, "Hey, now."
Oh, see,
I do have a lot of experience in gold mining.
Right. You just always got to. There's always got to be those few. It's like, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what. Everyone ends up with their haters.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I think you're a good fit for the show, dude. Are you looking forward to the next season? Getting back out there?
Yeah, if we find out something, everything's in the air till it happens. So you never know.
Right.
Don't know.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you get back out to the claim soon and can start looking for some gold again. I know you guys, the season starts when usually to get back out there to the claims. So late April.
Last year they went out there in May. I was the latecomer in June. So
okay. So you ain't got too much longer.
No,
you'll be back out.
It's like 40 degrees. I'm sure Kayla's going to be getting in the water here soon. I know where she's at. It's going to I'm looking out the window right now and I've got water dripping off the roof. For the last week we've had that it's like we got liquid water. It's exciting.
But it's supposed to be springtime, right?
Typically, breakup doesn't really begin until about April mid-ish.
Okay. So you might,
because the days just get long enough that it starts. Like the blacktop and different surfaces will start to warm up, but you got to have that intensity of sun to actually make it happen.
Sure.
And that comes later.
All right.
She'll be in the water in 2 days. Awesome.
Of course she will. She's
jealous.
Justin, no, it's been a pleasure having you on here tonight, man. And we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us a bit. And we look forward to watching you when the season returns.
Awesome.
The 14th, I believe it is, Jaron. You keep telling me.
Yeah, April 14th. So now we can tell everyone who's been asking why the show is canceled. It's not. It's resuming April 14th. Kayla and I can have a little reprieve of answering this question over and over.
Now you can just say April 14th. April 14th. Coming back.
And I'll send you a link to the after party if you want in.
Awesome.
Cool. Justin, thank you again for coming and hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Good luck next season, brother, and good luck with everything you do. Yeah.
Take care,
right on. I appreciate it.
All right.
Take care,
buddy.
See you later.
Take care, Justin.
Later.
Bye, bud. All right. Justin, there he goes. All right. Justin Peterson, another great guest.
Yeah, this is good. Good stories.
Heck yeah, good, great stories. All these guys got some great stories, don't they?
Well, I don't think about the finger story that great, but
I like the bear story. That
one would have been.
I think that would have answered Dennis's question. See, I was going to ask.
Oh yeah, definitely would have.
Yeah, but once he said that, I'm like, I bet that's good enough.
Yeah, that's Dennis's scariest moment.
Winner. See, I didn't ask Dennis's question though, and Dennis don't show up.
You didn't have to.
No.
Luckily, we got two stories that would have complimented that.
Yeah, the finger and the bear. Good God. Yeah, there was definitely two. Man, oh man. All right, so Jaron, who's on Ed Tuesday?
Let me pull that up. But also, we're not going to be having a show on Easter. So
correct, we will not have a show on Easter. So
next week.
Yeah.
So our next guest will be on the 16th, and that'll be James Ham, also from Whitewater.
Also from Whitewater.
Cool.
Why won't we have a show on Sunday?
Because it's Easter.
But it's Easter.
We had one on Christmas.
But we're not having one on Easter.
Okay.
So Ed has West Coast Gold Prospecting on there tomorrow or Tuesday.
On Tuesday night hangouts with Ed and Jess over there. Yeah, so excuse me. We'll have our Wednesday show like always.
Yep.
Yeah, no show Sunday. Then we'll return the following Sunday, James Ham. Correct. Awesome, Jaron. Thank you, buddy.
On Sunday or the following Wednesday?
On Sunday. We don't do guests on Wednesdays. Now, how long have you been doing this show?
Well, I thought you meant have the show. I didn't talk about the guests.
Oh, yeah, we'll do our show. Yeah, we're just missing Sunday because of Easter. That's it.
We can have a show. We can have a guest on Wednesday. What the heck's wrong
No,
with you?
we don't do guests on Wednesday.
Well, that's just stupid.
It's against policy.
Maybe they can't get Sunday open.
Well, we can't get Wednesday open. It's policy. Policy. Read the fine print, Scott.
Yeah, there's some fine print. That fine print's probably changed 14 times since I've been on his show.
Changes weekly.
We're going to snip a little piece off here. We're going to add a little bit to this one. Okay, there we go. Policy.
All right, we're out of here. Till Wednesday, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks again, Justin, for stopping by. We're out of here. We'll
Good night,
see
everybody.
you all Wednesday.
Good night, gold diggers.
Good night, everybody.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.
There's a bear sniffing my boot.